Yeah, friends, what we're about to see now is the anatomy of one of the greatest diplomatic humiliations in Brazil's recent history. Imagine the scenario. The most powerful man in your country, the one who has the power to overthrow presidents, censor social networks, and dictate the fate of 200 million Brazilians. With a single stroke of the pen, he finds out, in the worst possible way, that his power ends exactly where American sovereignty begins. Today, the justices of the Federal Supreme Court, those who got used to being treated like gods in Brasília, woke up to the reality of what they really are. Officially, the only Brazilians forbidden from setting foot on the soil of the world's greatest democracy. They can't go to the 2026 World Cup. They can't take their children to Disney. They are trapped within the borders they themselves helped create. They helped turn it into a minefield of legal uncertainty. And make no mistake, this isn't just about soccer. It's about the exact moment when the legal arrogance of Brasília violently collided with American law. And to read the signs here, we need to understand that what's happening in the halls of the Supreme Court isn't political outrage. It's the cry of humiliation. Picture this scene with me now. The justice on Brazil's Supreme Court is used to being revered by lawyers, politicians, and the traditional media, having to face a U.S. immigration officer at the airport. The officer scans the passport and the system flashes red. Beep, 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 beep. It's a short and blunt order. Inadmissible. He can't come in here. Entry has been denied. This is not the treatment given to an ordinary citizen who respects the law. This is the treatment given to cartel members and officials from dictatorial regimes. And this is where the pattern breaks. While the average Brazilian moves about freely, Brazil's legal elite is confined, watching everything on television and fearing that if they try to cross the border, the next step will be the embarrassment of being detained. This humiliation didn't happen overnight. It was built up layer by layer. On May 28, 2025, the United States established a new legal standard by enacting a law that bans visas for foreign officials who are directly involved in censorship against American citizens. It was the warning shot that Brasília ignored. Just a few weeks later, on July 19, the response came in full force. The U.S. Department of State issued an official statement suspending the visas of Alexandre de Moraes and 7 other federal Supreme Court justices, as well as the Attorney General, Paulo Gonet. On the blacklist, there are prominent names like Gilmar Mendes, Alexandre de Moraes, Barroso, Fachin, Toffoli, Zanin, Dino, and Carmen Lucia. They are not just tourists being barred, they are diplomatic pariahs. However, the crackdown goes beyond the judiciary. On the same list, we find Alexandre Padilha, a central figure in Lula's government, specifically punished for his involvement in the exploitation policy that became known as the enslavement of Cuban doctors. Washington is connecting the dots. Censorship in Brazil and the violation of human rights in foreign policies are treated under the Trump administration as a single package of harmful activities. It's the literal application of Section 212 of the United States Immigration Act, which gives Secretary of State Marco Rubio the discretionary power to prevent the entry of anyone he considers a risk to foreign policy or freedom of expression. Tangible fear circulates in the halls of the Supreme Federal Court. They know that while Brazil will play much of the first phase of the World Cup on American soil, and now it's confirmed that the second phase will be there too. I don't know if you know, but in 2026 the tournament will also take place in Canada and Mexico. But most of the games will take place in the United States and the judges are locked up in Brasília. They notice the irony that even the Iranian team, a declared enemy of the Americans, is able to make tactical round trips from Mexico for their games, while the Supreme Court justices can't even get a day visa, just one day, to watch Brazil's only game. No, my friends. Yeah, and speaking of Brasília, the power struggle is much dirtier than it seems. There's a silent but fierce pressure coming from the very socialist aristocratic elite of the capital. They're trying to use the allegations involving Banco Master and Alexandre de Moraes to maybe sacrifice the minister in a peace deal with Washington. They're desperately trying to clean up the court's image and prevent the isolation from becoming permanent. The pathetic attempt to improve the image in specific trials is just a smokescreen. The truth is that the Supreme Court is tainted, it's dirty, and the attempt to play politics instead of upholding the Constitution is taking its toll. You must be wondering, what about the justices who weren't sanctioned? Andre Mendonça, Nunes Marques, Luis Fouque, they're not on the blacklist. Theoretically, they could travel. But my friends, the environment is so toxic that no one wants to risk the embarrassment. The uncertainty about who is or isn't on the alert system is a powerful psychological weapon. Would you have the courage to risk a trip knowing that if your name appears on the immigration officer's screen, you'll be detained in front of the other passengers? No one in their right mind would take that risk. Fuchs, Nunes Marques, and Mendonça are living the irony of being the only justices who could go to Disney, but they're prisoners of the political environment surrounding them. Political succession also haunts the dreams of this elite. Many believe that if Trump leaves in 2028, the sanctions will be lifted. They are underestimating American pragmatism. If the next president is Marco Rubio, for example, the man who is currently Trump's right-hand man in foreign policy, the situation will not just stay the same, it will escalate. Rubio knows every detail of the violations, every name, every act of censorship, and under a possible Rubio administration in 2029, the Magnitsky Act will be enforced so rigorously that what we're seeing today will look like kid glove treatment. The isolation is total. The international legal siege is just beginning. The Brazilian government, instead of seeking a serious diplomatic solution, prefers to insist on persecuting political exiles abroad. They still haven't understood that a dictatorship never ends well and that persecuting opponents beyond the borders is a strategy of those who have already accepted their fate as pariahs. And what if you understand that this is the first phase of settling scores? Historically, where American sovereignty serves as the last break against the authoritarianism of Brasília. I want you to go down to the comments now and prove that our strategic intelligence community read the board before the curtains fall. Type our verdict for today in all caps, end of impunity. I repeat, take your position on the board and write in the comments, end of impunity. Yeah, my friends, you at home could, if you wanted to, or if you had planned ahead, be watching a World Cup match. Moraes, Gilmar Mendes, and the others can't. They can't. They'll have to watch it on TV if they want to. Yeah, my friends, the world turns and now the powerful are left out. And look, I'm sure that you who's following me have incredible knowledge, but you remain invisible online watching mediocrity get rewarded every day. He does a little dance and goes viral, and I talk about serious things and nobody sees me. The difference between anonymity and the top isn't luck, it's technique. By mastering this structure, I started hitting 50 million views every month on my social media, and most importantly, monetized in dollars. Did you know that? Those who work on YouTube earn in dollars, my son. Pay attention to the math. The dollar today is worth 5 times more. $100 today is 500 Rs. Now multiply that by 10 by 20 by 1,000. You are literally leaving money on the table every day. Authoritative communication makes money. It's worth a lot of money, my friends. And that's why on July 12th in Curitiba, I'm going to unlock the engineering of my method in a relentless in-person immersion. Inside my studio with my team, I'll be looking you in the eye and teaching you how I got here. As they say, I'm going to give you the inside scoop. I'm not going to tell you to watch some little video on the internet. I'm not going to give you a mentorship. No, you're going to sit in front of me and I'm going to share with you what I know and what I apply today. QR code on the screen. Type I want in the comments right now and secure your VIP spot before the 10th one is filled and the steel door closes. So I'll be waiting for you here on the 12th at my studio. And for that, the link is in the description and in the pinned comment. And for those who are tired of wasting time looking for a good movie or a good series, spending hours on Netflix or Amazon trying to find something, and in the end, it's terrible, we've solved your problem. We created our channel with tips on series and movies. You see our analysis, our tip, and get straight to the point without wasting time, without woke culture, without whining. Link in the description, in the pinned comment, and in the card that appears on your screen.
Now, the best part of our chat.
Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and leave a like because honestly, it's a lot of work to talk to you every day here on our network.
And remember, shield your mind. I'm Shimon Oliveira, and I'll see you in the next video. See you then.